Good evening, everybody. Um, Welcome to my live chat, Insta chat with a journalist. And today I have a special guest. He goes by the name The Gobbs. So the Gobbs is a DJ, producer, slash sound engineer, and he's been in the industry for a long time. So, I just thought that I should invite him and have this chat with him because I think that he's a very, very interesting guy. And I think there's a lot to learn from him. And it will be very interesting to just, get his take on the house culture in South Africa. So yeah, basically what happens on this platform is that I'm documenting the house music culture, and I talk to people that are in the space, whether it's a DJ, a vocalist, a producer, a sound engineer, anybody who's just in the business. I just have conversations with them. So yeah, the Gov just joined. So let me add him. So yeah, I have these chats on my Instagram page. And yeah, man, it's a vibe, bro. It's a vibe. We document the house culture in South Africa. Yeah, it's a
Sure, brother.
How are you, man? Are you good?
Sure, brother.
Are you like it? Are you like it? Are you like it?
I'm good. Where are your people here?
No, they're coming. They're coming. Don't worry about that. So basically, um, this with these interviews, I record them here on Instagram, and then I later on publish them everywhere. Like so tomorrow they'll be on YouTube, um, Facebook, and my music platform as well, which is coming soon. The house music publication and magazine, which is coming soon. So here we just recording. But yeah, people
Okay.
people just join. So yeah, man, thank you so much for your time. So basically, I just do this because I think that the house music culture is big in South Africa, but it's not properly documented. So with this platform, I get
Great.
to talk to different people who do different types of, the subgenres of house music because it's very broad. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
obviously, I think you're one of those people, like, you're a DJ and you also in the background, So I just want to get to just, get so that we can just have a platform to just talk about your story, bro. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, man. I mean, I know quite a bit about you, but this is for those who might not know your story, bro. So I understand that you started being interested in being a DJ in high school when you were in grade 9. I'm just curious to know what sparked that idea that made you want to be a DJ in grade 9.
Man, like the love for music for me was just unexplainable. I couldn't explain or make sense of why am I so attracted to sounds and the way the Rhodes sounds and when the vocals are being sung on top of that specific instrument, and the fusion began. The passion for DJing obviously began early 2000. I'd say around about 2000, 99, 2000. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was when I first heard House Africa. I think it was House Africa one by Vinny Da Vinci. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wow, man, this is what I want to do this. I just want to do this the whole time. I just want to I just want to have this feeling the whole time because it never had any complications, it never had any accusations. It just felt good. And I just wanted to have that feeling all the time. And that's where I started to fall in love with that or resonate with DJing, back in boarding school, using two CD players. I mean, there wasn't even pitch control on the two radios, but I mean, it was just the feeling when I was doing that. It was unexplainable, and it just felt amazing. Yeah.
Wow, man. And then you took it a step further and you're like, you know what, you want to make it more than just a hobby. You want to study sound as well. So when you studied sound engineering, was it what you expected it to be, and how was that journey like for you?
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected it to be, but it was, I'd say, 80% what I really wanted it to be. It was everything and more, and the part that I didn't like was really not it. Because I was really not a theory person. I didn't like theory. I just hated being at school and the book. I just wanted to like physically do things and learn how to, okay, this is what, and when I do this is what it does. So when I took the decision to study sound engineering, I mean, back then it wasn't very popular to study sound engineering. So when I did do it and I got into it, I realized it's way more than what I was thinking. So I got way more than what I envisioned to get from it. And it was the greatest decision of my life in terms of giving myself knowledge of actual sounds and how to manipulate sounds to get what you desire from different sounds.
Okay. And then, when it comes to sound engineering, like, which would you recommend like an upcoming DJ to study sound?
Oh, that question. No, I wouldn't. If DJing is all you want to do, if that's the only thing you want to do, no, I wouldn't recommend that you study sound engineering because you are not passionate about sound engineering. You're not passionate about engineering or sound. You're passionate about music and fusing it, mixing two songs together, whatever is making you resonate to being a DJ has got nothing to do with sound engineering. So you are going to fail. I mean, in my class, 70%, 70% of the learners failed because they only realized, oh, damn, man, I want to be a singer. I want to be a DJ. I want to be a guitar player. What is this that I'm doing? And like I said, the options, maybe the knowledge or there were not a lot of options to actually take those routes. But now, you can take routes where you can just do music production or just DJing or guitar or piano. I mean, online is your friend. YouTube is your friend on everything. But sound engineering, you will fail. It's difficult. It's really, really difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about because recently, because of the lockdown, we started with
Mhm.
friends just live streaming from home. And me personally, that thing is tough, man, especially now when you have to make sure that the sound sounds good and you have to put the rig cables and all that. So I was like, yo, so many wires, so many holes. You know what I mean? And it's like if you do one thing wrong, you get it wrong. So I totally get where you're coming from. But would you say that for someone who wants to get into DJing or music production, would you say, considering that there's like the internet and where you can learn a lot of things, would you say that like traditional education of going to varsity is still necessary when you want to be a DJ?
No, it's got traditional education. I mean, I'm not the end all and be all of advising anyone about studies, education, because it's not my favorite thing. Like I said, I hated school. I really hated school. I got nothing out of it. But I understand as I'm older now that it wasn't really actually teaching me personally per se about what it is that I want to do, but more maybe on the basic fundamentals of life and interacting in society and logic, But if you want to be a DJ and that's what you want to do, and that's all that you want to do, school's got nothing to do with that. but in terms of actually DJing, you feel me? So
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Yeah, no, no, no. I completely understand you, man. So now, you're finally done with school, and then now you get an opportunity to work at Jazzworx Studios. How did that come about, and how was that experience like for you, bro?
It was life changing, man. Being at Jazzworks was life changing, and how it came about was really because I was really curious and passionate and inquisitive. So the owner of Jazzworks Studios, till this day, Robin Cole, shout outs to Robin Cole, he was my last year sound theory lecturer, right? So I'm like, Robin Cole, and I always used to look at the back of CD, like physical CD sleeves,
Yeah.
to see who does what, who did what, who, like back then, CD sleeves would have credits, and there was a lot of Jazzworks mastered by Robin Cole at Jazzworks Studios, mixed by Robin Cole at Jazzworks Studios. So I was in awe. I was like, oh man, this is the Robin Cole, and I would sit in front, right in front, best desk ever in my life. When I'm at school and I'm sitting in front, right at the front, and
Yeah.
I would sit and I would pay attention to this dude. And, you know, besides the knowledge that he was dishing out, I was more curious of getting more and more one-on-ones with this man about, obviously, I know what he's about, what it is that he's contributing to the music industry, and what he can do for me as a mentor. So I speak to him and I approach him, and then at first it was very like he was like, nah. And then eventually, he brings DJ Cleo as a guest speaker for one of our classes. This is where it changed for a lot of people, and I'll tell you why. Because DJ Cleo studied sound engineering at L&B campus, and he didn't finish it. And I was at L&B campus during my last year. So when Robin brought DJ Cleo gave everyone in my class a perspective of what sound engineering is, what DJing is, what being a session musician is, what publishing is, when it's coming from such a successful person that people are looking up to and feel like he's made it and he's made all the money from the music, it hit different than when Robin was telling us. So me being who I am, I was asking these questions and when that was done, it was almost towards the final exams. And when we finished exams, fast forward, I said, Robin, I want to come work at Jazzworx. And he says, come to the studios and see what we do. And then let's take it from there and see what it is that you can contribute. And then I went there. And fortunately, when I was there, they were recording drums for Lira's album. What was the album called? Feel Good? They were,
Yeah,
they, were
yeah, yeah.
record, they were recording the drums for that. And I sat in that session and I kept quiet and I watched each and everything that he was doing. And when they were done, he asked me, so do you think you can be able to do this every day? And I said, this is why I'm here. And he said, okay, cool, finish your exams, come back in January of 2007. I said, cool. And that's what I did. And I had 6 interviews that day. One of them was with Umandla N from Black Brain Pictures, and I was cool. I developed a relationship with Umandla N. And I went to Jazzworx. It was my first one. Ngihlale kasi, ngibambe itaxi, ngi-run back. Mangifika at Jazzworx, he's like, cool, are you ready to start? I'm like, oh, okay, let's keep on. He's like, yeah, you're gonna start today. We'll just show you around, but you'll officially start next week. And that was that. Beginning of 2007. Right after I graduated, I finished my sound engineering. I started working at Jazzworx. That was a game changer for me because the people that were coming through that door, till this day, I've got lifelong friendships there and lifelong business partners, mentors. It was crazy. It was crazy. Really, really was crazy.
Yeah, man. Look, that's very interesting because now you found your passion, and it started with you, hearing your mentor working on Lira's project, and I think I met you a couple of years later. I think at around 2010. I'm not somewhere
Yeah,
11, somewhere there, and I've
yeah,
always assumed that you were a hip hop dude because you were hanging around, JR and
yeah,
KO and Teargas. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
was surprised to learn that you're actually a house guy. So just
yeah.
tell me about that journey, of working with the hip hop guys in the industry.
It also, it's my passion. How I worked with JR. I met him when I was at Jazzworx. He had just dropped Khatalina, and Khatalina was mad crazy. Like it was, it was a game changer, for hip hop. It was really, really doing the rounds in the streets, and this dude was just becoming this guy. And he comes in at Jazzworx. He hasn't dropped the album yet. He's working with 37 MPH. And I say, yo, check it out. We have a chat. And then I give him this vision. And I say, listen, a lot of artists do not see the need to invest in sound engineers for their shows. And I feel that you guys need to sound as best as you can when you're doing a show. And you cannot entrust that on a resident sound engineer because if you're doing a show, the resident sound engineer is going to be there from 6 in the morning setting up until 6 the following morning. So for him to specifically focus on you as an artist in sounding better, you'll be very fortunate. Maybe they love you to bits or their attention span at that time is cool. So I believe that just bring your own person, plug and play into the show, have someone responsible for your presentation as an artist, audio wise. And JR saw that vision. He saw that vision, and then that's how we started working together. And then it just slowly infiltrated in me being his DJ because he just loved my vibe. I was just that guy. I was also good with the backings, and I was just an all-rounder. So for him to, it was easier for him to pay a DJ and a sound engineer, just have one person do multiple things, and it's easier for the travel party. And that's how it started with JR. Teargas, I met them 2008 as well at Jazzworx when they were recording Wafa Wafa, which is their second album. And we just clicked like that. And I shared the vision. I shared the vision with them as well. And then they picked it up, they loved it, and we took it and ran. And that's how I got infiltrated with the hip hop guys from Jazzworx, Murafi, Double HP, PRO, all of those guys, RIP Jeba, RIP PRO, RIP Flabber, Sugar Smack, Squatter Camp, Slicker, a lot of the hip hop guys. It really just embraced this young kid who had this passion, and that's how it is until this day. I've got good relations with all of these guys.
Okay, wow, that's dope, man. That's dope. And I remember you were even featured in the Tear Gas video. You were the kingpin. That was
Yeah,
dope.
a couple of them. I was once the video guy, the video vixen. The house guys never really liked me. I didn't give a flying though. I'm not out there to be liked, but about house and you know what I mean. I, I'm still mad on the production. Let's take it to the music. If you really want to hate, but it was never really genre specific for me. Yeah,
That's very interesting, man, because I think that the hip hop industry is very synonymous with beef, and now because of social media, we are starting to see a lot of house DJs kind of like beefing, but the OGs play like no, 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 that's not the thing. Do you think that like there's a lot of contention, or do you think, how should I phrase this? Do you think that there's space for beef in the house community?
Uh, it, like like a hip hop beef.
Yeah. Like, like in hip hop, like guys like AKA and Casper made a lot of money because they don't like each other. Do you think there's space for something like that in the house community as well?
Look, I mean, we in South Africa, there's different cultures, there's different tribes. The diversity is so wide. So at the end of the day, it is entertainment. If it is done within the boundaries of respect, I'm cool with it. As soon as it tips over to a disrespectful mantra, then for me it's not really building. So anything that's not building the house scene, it's not, for me personally, it's not something that I consider feasible for a house music scene, because there's already underlying issues in house music anyway. You know how it is when you back in the day. I mean, I used to go to gigs a lot, and a lot of these DJs would always go, "Oh, here comes the hip hop guy. Let's hear what he's got to say." And I'd punch you with an hour of exclusive joints that are produced by myself that you've never heard, and you come to me, and then a couple of days later, I'll get an inbox, "Yo, man, can I get that set?" For me, that's just how you shut up the haters. It's all about the music. It's all about the music. And the entertainment factor, because of evolution, things evolve. It's cool as long as it's building. Things that are disrespectful and do not build, for me, it's a problem. We can never forget the guys that paved the way. They're very important in a scene. So like in South Africa, for house music, you cannot not mention Fresh, Fistas, Ganyani, Christos, Vinny, Greg Maluka. You can't not mention all those veterans and become disrespectful to the people that really are getting us paid till this day because of the decisions they took. So the entertainment, it's cool to, when you're sparring, it's entertainment. Maramaje so Shaykh Rotman knockout. No. No.
Yeah, that's very interesting, bro. I like the way that you phrase it. So I know you consider yourself like you're a soulful DJ, and now we live in the times of Afrotech, Amapiano, Dom. Looking at the current trends, moving forward with your sound. I know you're also working on new music. I know you dropped a new song recently. How do you see yourself, in the space? How are you positioning your brand in the noise?
I listen to my whispers, man. I don't listen to the world. For me, in my whispers are what keeps my confidence in the production that I make and I churn out. I tried at one point to, actually, this is a quite an interesting story. Very short. I tried at one point to try and go with what is going on, to release or make music according to what is going on. That was the most miserable time for me to make music of my life. I think I spent 6 months without going in studio after trying 2-3 songs, and when I was listening to them, they were horrendous. For me, I never resonated with them. It wasn't something that I could extremely be proud of and nurture and grow this baby. So I took a decision there and there that I'm never gonna deviate or get pressure from what's happening outside. I am aware. I'm not ignorant. I'm aware of what's happening outside. I know what's happening in Gom. I know what's happening piano. I know what's happening in hip hop and pop, and that's amazing. You know, it's all music. Music wins at the end of the day. It does not matter which genre it is. If it is coming from SA, it is a winner for SA, and then globally for Africa. You know, so I'm actually making the best music of my life right now. That is not out yet, because I'm just content with what I'm putting down and what I'm pressing on the keys, and I'm gonna surprise, you know, a lot of the Gobbs followers that follow my production for the last 12, 13 years, when I drop the joints that I'm gonna drop in the next couple of months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't wait, man. So you're not gonna say which direction you're taking. You just have to wait.
Look, like I said, for me, there's no direction. There's no specific direction. I'm doing what I feel. I'm putting down what I feel, and how I can never control how it's taken, you know, by the people that I understand. I can only do what's in my power to try and get it to be heard by as many people as possible, you know. And throughout the years, I've also just learned to not be emotionally attached to, what's the word? Your music not being accepted. You know, it's not money. It's not going to be loved by everyone. You know, so if it's loved, if you're putting it out and it's loved by those that love it, it's organic. You know, but I do understand that there's you gotta push differently. You know, but you know, I always hear, hey, but that song is nice. You didn't push it. What didn't I push? I sampled radio. Maybe let's say worst case scenario, I didn't shoot a video. I sampled DJs. I did a couple of radio interviews. You know, push is real. It's relative. Not to say it didn't push it. It's just the reach is probably not as wide. You know, not everyone will probably reach the song, and not everyone's gonna love the song. But you gotta be content with the product that goes out.
Yeah, you know, you're making great points there, because some people feel that if a song does not make it into radio, then it means that it wasn't a good song. And you know, which also, I'm going to ask you the most difficult question: how do you get your song on radio?
I don't know, man. I mean, I've had some decent airplay here and there. You know, I haven't had according to charts, like chart toppers, but you just sample radio. You know, you sample radio. You gotta hire a specialist if you do not have the. You know, let me tell you something. If you're gonna send a song to a compiler, he's probably receiving 500 songs that week. You know, and if it's coming from you, Gobbs, the Gobbs, he doesn't know who you are. He, not to say he's downplaying the receiving the joint, but him receiving 500 songs. There's big labels, you know, that are giving him songs. There's music. There's relationships that he has with radio pluggers. So he considers, you know, the list is like this. It comes down. There's a hierarchy, my brother. You gotta understand. There's hierarchy to everything, you know. So it's the labels. It's the labels in terms of him giving a chance to listen. You know, he's gonna listen to the big labels and stuff, you know, because they probably have the might and reach to go and tap into a more commercially viable entertainer or DJ or producer, right? And he obviously wants the best. He wants the exclusives, and he wants the best now. He wants to be the first to play it. He's got relationships with radio compilers. You got to understand the dynamics. You can't just sit back and hate, you know, and go, they're not playing my song. What did you do? What did you do? You know, I had a conversation with a radio plugger in Europe, and he asked me, and he said, man, you know, late November 2019, he said, man, he reached out to me and he asked for my number. He reached out to me on email and he asked for my number, and we had a video call on WhatsApp. And he said, "Man, I've been listening to your catalog, and I see it's dating back to 2009, 2010. And these joints are super. What is it that you're doing? I can tell you what is it that you're doing wrong." He asked me one question: how much money have you spent? How much money have you invested in each and every song that you have released? That's the question.
Damn.
Answer that question. Yes, 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 yes. You do not have money. It's trying times. Money is short. It's a shortage. Treat your brand like any other business. Treat your brand like any other business. If you really, really believe in your music, then back it. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your speakers are. You can't say you believe in this joint, but you don't want to put a cent behind it. You know, you got to hire a specialist that deals with music compilers, because it's not only just leaving the song and you're over. You got to follow up. Did you play the song? Where did you play it? How many times? Then he checks Radio Monitor SA to see that it was played at this time, and then it gives you stats, and then you need to work it. It needs to be worked. You know, it needs to be worked, and that's the mics that the labels have, because they can work the music.
Wow, man. Very insightful. And obviously, you know, you also have a platform on 5FM, your segment on House Connect.
Yeah.
So, you know, what goes through the process of you deciding what type of songs are you going to play on your segment? Even though I know it's not like a official playlist thing, but at least, you know, if a song is played there, you know, it's on national radio. So
Yes,
I
sir.
want to know, like, you know, what makes you select, what's the process of you selecting the songs that you put on your platform?
I get sampled every week. You know, I get music. I'm on mailers. You know, anyone who wants to put me on a mailer can do it. You know, my email address is music@dgobbs.com. So I get sampled from big labels to bedroom producers. Each and every song that comes into my inbox, I listen to. Each and every song. Whether it's 10 seconds or 5 minutes, I listen to it. You know, so before I decide on the songs that are going to be in the mix, because like you said, it's not playlisting, but for those 20 minutes, it is my platform on national radio. That is not questioned. You know, so shout out to DJ Lloyd, you know, who's given me that platform, who's entrusted me with that platform for the last 3 years. So I haven't reached the point where I'm receiving hundreds of songs every week. You know, at most, maybe I'll receive about 20, 30 songs, but I'll listen to each and every song. So I've got a day in the week that is dedicated to the mix, because any DJ knows that preparing for a mix, the longest, what takes the most time is listening to the music. So I listen to the music. I spend the whole day and I listen to the music, and then I'll have 20 songs or 10 songs that I like, and then I have to filter to the best. You know, and that's the hardest part. And I have to filter to the best, because I've been blessed and fortunate enough to be sent exclusives. You know, so 98% of the time, the mood setter mix on the House Connect on 5FM by D Gobbs is 98% exclusives. So I'm always getting the fire prior to it dropping. And I love that, because people get identified, you know, and you get a call and you're like, whose joint is that? You get a call from very prominent A&Rs. Whose joint is that, man? Link me up with that person, you know, and that feels good to be able to have a platform where you're playing unknown producers and stuff, and it's resonating with someone out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, man, and that's very powerful, man, because you're also giving back, and you know, you're doing what you love, and you're also helping other people also, you know, achieve their goals. Um, I how long does it take for you to know if a song is good or not? Do you have to listen to it for once, or is it a few times? Or I'm curious because for me, with the first listen, I'm like, that's a good song. But if I hear it 10 times, I don't think it's a good song anymore. It's just like I'm used to the melody. So I'm interested to know, like, how do you know if a song is good or not?
For me, I just think because I listen with 2 ears, you know, there's for my radio mix, because it's only 20 minutes. So, I mean, I'm still a traditional DJ, so I'll do traditional mixing, I don't do mashups and stuff like that. So for radio, when does it kick in? Does the song kick in time for it to be fully exploited for the 4 minutes that it has? Because by then I have to have been in the next song. So I listen on that ear, and then I also listen for the flow. And then I'm like, this joint is crazy. It's something that I would drop now. But other than that, the first thing is just how it makes me feel. I just can't explain like how it makes me feel. There's nothing technical about it. How it makes me feel. I'll just be like, oof. If you're making this face, if I'm making this face, that, yeah, no. There's an element in that joint that has encouraged me to drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very interesting because I always have debates about, what makes a song good. Because some people will say, no, you have to listen to a song a few times. I'm like, nah, nah, nah. If I like it the first time, then, like, that means it's a vibe. So, obviously, they're not, like, we can't go to events anymore because of COVID. And I remember you played at that event in Braamfontein, the Deep in the City
Yeah.
event, which is like a very special event for households in
Yeah.
Joburg. And now during COVID-19, a lot of people are doing live streams.
Yeah.
How do you think people can monetize now or make a living moving forward now? Because it looks like, there won't be public gatherings anytime soon. So what's the next step for DJs?
For DJs, you got to do the research. You got to do the research and see where you want to plug. Diversify. That's the word. You need to diversify, and it's a tough time because online everyone is still trying to figure it out. We are not fortunate enough to be in a space of just hoying jet because we can. Don't forget that sometimes in most cases, your biggest followers cannot afford to be on Instagram and stream you for an hour. They economically they can't do it. So like you said, you're recording this interview and you're gonna place it to be indefinitely viewed. How can we monetize that? How can one monetize their core following? I always say, as an A-list artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get to a point where you're not going to be A-list forever, but you get to a point where you need to cater for your core fans. You'll always have your core fans. Now you got to start zoning in and focus on your core fans, those that will go to www.thegobbs.com and spend 5 rand or 10 rand to watch you for an hour. That's how DJs can make money. Find that type of a platform, where you are selling tickets to your show, whether it's 5 people, 2 people. That's how you started DJing. So back to basics. Now you really need to invest in you. The cobwebs are now removed from people because people are sitting at the comfort of their homes. They're not at an event where there's loud noise, loudspeakers, a lot of interaction with people, and it's all a facade. It is all now concentrated. And do I really fuck with D-Gobbs? Do I really wanna listen and watch this guy for an hour. Because to watch a DJ is boring for a lot of people. Attention span is very short. There's so many things. There's Netflix, there's this, there's that. People have the options, right? Those that do not have the options, why would they want to watch you for an hour? And are they gonna pay for it? So that as DJs, you just gotta believe in you as the DJ. Pedila manga business one side. Everyone has got to have their own platform. You understand? And there are people that really truly believe in them as a DJ or that want to hear them DJing. They will go onto their platform and they will support you. It will be their weekly gathering, Saturday night, chilling, some wine. They'll get onto Gobbs.com and they've paid $20 and they're gonna watch you. And then you have 30 people watching you from the comfort of their own home anywhere in the world. That's the evolution. Everyone's got to do it. Everyone has to do it, because if you're a DJ and you have your following, cater for them. Go straight for them. You know,
That's very interesting, man. I know Facebook is working on a system like that. I don't know if they've started out with the rollout yet, but you know, where they are allowing musicians to be able to charge for concerts, and it will be very, very interesting to see. I know Questa did it with Slicker. I didn't watch though, but I know they had something like that where people had to buy tickets to stream.
Yeah. Even house music wise, Mash did it. FKA Mash did it. And that it's amazing. You know, it's amazing because everyone who's on there, no one is there browsing. You know, when you're doing an Insta live, then you see there's 3 people and you're being discouraged and people are browsing. You know, they are browsing. They're like, oh, what's happening here? Oh, boring. Oh, what's happening here? Ooh, once it says something, this song is boring. You know what I mean? So now, if they're going on to watch the Gobbs, they want to be there. They want to be there. They've paid to watch you. You know, and it's you. It's you. It's not a lineup. Ooh. Now
it would be very interesting to see, you know, post this whole situation. Do you think that South Africa will still have like a lot of DJs like we have now after COVID, or are the number of DJs going to decrease?
No. They'll be there. You know, it's just they'll just be the men from the boys. They'll be there. The DJs will always be there. You know, they're not gonna go anywhere. They'll be there. Even those that are not actually that are not passionately doing it, they could stop until it's time to go out and start again. It's not a regulated field. It's entertainment. You know. So they will be there full force, playing everything. You know, okay.
You know, what's your take on influencer DJs, man? I always ask this question, but I feel like this question is not going to be relevant in the future, but I'm going to ask it anyway. You know, influencer DJs with people with a lot of numbers on social media, people that are good looking and all that, and they get bookings. Do you think that they are needed in the culture?
Without a doubt, you know, that's a very good question. I mean, the answer can only be opinion based. You know, it's not factual. My answer to your question is there's many ways to skin a cat. So let's say, for example, influencer A has got 1 million followers, and this is what they've been known to be doing prior to now venturing into DJing. Maybe that was their tool and entrance and vehicle to getting to this point where now they can maximize or bring in all those people who have known them for this to now this true core passion that they've always had, and now they've got the power as well. Let me tell you something. You can always hear if someone is genuinely a DJ or not. You can hear it. So it's not always the vehicle. Like, the vehicle can be different. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, anything that builds is good. Anything that builds is good. It's being a facade and but this one is a radio presenter and is an influencer and they do this and this and this and this. Don't knock the hustle of getting to a point where you feel it is disrespected. Facades are always exposed as time goes on. DJing is not easy, you know, and you do get exposed. Just like with anything that you do out of non-purity, you'll get exposed. At the end of the day, you'll get exposed.
Mm.
I hope
Okay.
it answers your question.
No, it does, man. And what I like is that, you don't give like one-worded answers. Like, you give a very broad answer, and it makes one think. And I think that was a very, very fair response, because I mean, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. But anyway, man, look, back to you, bro. Yo, time is running out very fast. um, so let's talk about Sengwayo. What is
Yeah.
Sengwayo?
Sengwayo is isithakazelo sakwaZungu. Usengwayo isithakazelo, angithi usengwayo manzini. You understand? So what happened is, Sengwayo I did with SK95. I really respect him as a music producer, as a DJ. I always wanted us to make a song. We've both always wanted to collaborate as producers. It's a very hard thing to do because we're both very firm-headed. So it was a tough session, but we came out with a nice product. It took us a day to make. I was in there in the morning, and by the time I left, we were finished. So it's so crazy because Sengwayo, angithi the song goes Sengwayo. It is a Zulu chant that we reversed. So basically, the chant is different. He was just playing chants. He was busy playing chants because we hadn't decided whether we want a vocalist or not. We were still making the beat, making the music, and brainstorming and putting down and doing this and that and that and that. And then when he was browsing, because we did it at his studio, when he was browsing the samples of tribal Zulu chants, he chose one, and I said, wait, hold up. Can you just put that one and let's reverse it? And when he reversed it, like I said, man, with me, with music, is some things you just can't explain. It's very, very spiritual. And I said, this is it. This is it. And at first, we had said, we were busy saying Zamaya. He was saying Zamaya. And so I was mixing the joint. I took the separates to my studio to go finish it off. And as I was busy mixing it and listening to it, I hit him up. I said, this song is called Simwa. Listen to it, let me know. And then he listened and he's like, I'm not hearing it. I was saying, listen to it very carefully, And as he was listening, he was like, no, without a doubt, And it resonated. For me, it's dope because I'm an African, Mumuntu, and I love and embrace like those kind of things. I mean, I'm not a Zungu, that's not my surname. But I'll happily embrace Senwai. You know what I mean? I happily embrace. So even if it was any other Zulu or African chant, it's dope.
Okay, that's like working with another producer is quite tricky because I know that once a producer makes a track and then let's say if you were to make a track, ne? And then maybe you play it for people, and then people are like, "Yo, man, the song is dope, but it doesn't sound right. Can you take it to another producer to mix and master, or a sound engineer?" How comfortable are you with that? Like someone else taking your work and just fine tuning it and making it clean.
I've just gotten used to mixing my own stuff so much. I would actually love to try out someone else to go mix my my songs. It's just difficult because how I produce my music, I also like the way things sound has got to do with part of the production. So I want delay. I want this type of delay at a specific point. I want this type of a reverb on the snare. I want the bass line to be heavy on this frequency. I want it to align with the kick drum. So that's how it's been hard. And I've tried, prior, and I just didn't get what it is that I was wanting to hear. So, I mean, my album, It's Time, that I released under a Jazz record company, I took to my mentor. It was my first album, and I took it to Robin. I took it to Robin to go mix and master. But I sat with him each and every second, and we butted heads. And it was like, no, but like, no, but I've just gotten used to it. So it's just a quicker process as well for me, because someone might not find it as urgent as you would. But it's very interesting to take it to someone else and get their perspective. Once you find someone that you can trust with a certain sound, and they can give you what it is that you're hearing, it's amazing, because you cannot worry about how it's going to be polished. You can just finish the production and take it to someone for polishing.
And then
Yeah.
while we're still on that point, do you think that I remember back in the day, when local artists produced good projects, people would be like, "Yo, this song is so dope. America, it's like it's an American song." So, do you think that like the average standard in SA is international when it comes to quality of the music?
House music or
Yeah,
music
house
in general?
music. No, house music.
Definitely. Definitely. We've come a long way, man. We've really, really come a long way. We had this conversation. Black Coffee was raising this point when when there was a panel of questions about Gongbox. Gongbox that he's launching, and this is what he was raising, that you know when you're comparing a locally produced song with an internationally produced song, the international one always tends to sound better and cleaner and louder and punchier. And that requires a certain knowledge and just a certain amount of funding behind the song. And sometimes this guy is good, but he doesn't have the economic power to be able to reach this level, So it's still a little bit of a gap. It's still a little bit of a gap like that we need to get to. But those that are actually doing it, that are doing it and understanding it and have the muscle, we are slowly getting to that standard. And I mean, the internet is your friend now. If you want your song mastered by someone that you really look up to, you send them an email. They do it. I mean, if you love how Ed Jazz's music sounds, martiniverson.com is his website for mastering. You send him the sound, and if you are able to, you economically back it, and you pay, and you get it mastered by Ed Jazz. And now you don't have an excuse to say, "Hey, it doesn't sound like that Ed Jazz song." It's mastering is a technical aspect because it has to do with mixing. Just because it's mastered by Ed Jazz, it does not necessarily mean it's gonna sound like his songs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. 6 minutes left, bro. Quickly, who are some of your favorite local producers that we should look out for?
Sure. I'm loving Echo Deep. I'm loving. I'm just gonna speak from the top of my head. I'm loving Karabo, which is spelled KVRVBO. I'm really really loving Karabo stuff. Sure. I mean, I love that couple stuff when when he's touching on that soulful stuff. I love that stuff. And there's a lot of meaning in the joints that he drops. My dudes, Lemon and Herb, Kususa, Natty Nice is my guy right now. I love Natty Nice and respect him. And I mean, for me, Natty Nice, what makes me love his stuff the most right now is because Natty Nice was always, if you followed his journey, he was a staunch deep house producer, right? And then he dropped in Kamudira.
Yeah.
And then he dropped in Kamudira, and the whole deep house community got angry. This guy. And then I was like, Natty, you dropped in Kamudira. That's crazy. And he was like, nah. I was just flexing my production muscle just to show that I can do it. And I made some decent money too. And he could flip back, and almost 10 years later, he's dropping a song every week. Natty Nice has sent me 10 songs since lockdown started. He sent me 10 or 12 songs. Staunch deep house joints that are splendid. So for me right now, Natty Nice is there at the top. And don't write off. When you get to a certain level of success, people tend to overlook what you're doing because they cannot relate to you anymore. Like for example, if embrace snacks. You feel me? What Black Coffee is doing now, production wise, and the features that he's got on is groundbreaking for house music. It is groundbreaking. Having Asha on a house joint, having Claudio, what's her name again? Yeah, Claudio on a house joint, and now he's about to drop with Pharrell. You cannot write those things off. This man is literally taking house music, deep house music, to the world. Politics aside, you cannot write that off. And that's why I say to you, if you're gonna beef, have jabs. There we go. Wi-Fi is telling us Sabrina Claudio. Yeah, that's the lady. If you're gonna have beef and jabs, entertainment is cool. Disrespect out the window. If you're not building, because those that are building are really, really building, and it's giving you an opportunity for 10 years later to be able to work with an Asha. You know what I mean? To be able to work with whoever it is that you desire, because of these type of foundations.
Yeah, man. Look, there's 1 minute 40 seconds remaining. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, man. If there's anything else that I missed, bro, that you just want to say, now's the time.
Keep supporting house music, man. It's not going anywhere. Stop comparing genres. Listen to whatever it is that you want. Embrace your producers. Listen to the music. Listen to the songs. Don't browse through the songs. I know there's a lot of content out there. Give yourself time and just listen to the music, because there's a lot of effort that's put behind it. All producers, as I say in every interview that I do, keep sending your music to music@dgobbs.com. I listen to each and every song, and you might just hear your song on the House Connect, and the mix is called the Mood Setter Mix, and it's from 2:10 every Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, man, and thank you so much, and shout out to everybody that watched the interview. Sorry that I didn't get to your comments, guys.
Thank you for your time, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys for watching, and yeah, man, shout out to you, the Gobbs, and bro, thank you for playing local music. We really appreciate it, bro. We really do.
I'm about it. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Keep doing the platform, and I can't wait for the documentary, man.
Yeah, I know it's coming out, dog. Thank you so much. Sharp.
Sure, brother. Hey, tada.